What is up? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever, where you're watching. This is 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo, the daily grind of news, rumors, and updates. April 10th, 2025. Today, we are going to be recapping last night's games, the playoff chase race standings, and the news and rumors. Frozen Four matchup tonight. Flowers' final home game with the Minnesota Wild and Sidney Crosby beats another MLB player with throwing accuracy on the Pat McAfee show, and the worst plus minuses in the NHL, and previewing tonight's 10 games. All right, let's talk about the wild and intriguing games that we saw last night. All right, first up, crucial game in the Atlantic Division matchup between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Toronto Maple Leafs winning against the Lightning 4-3 overtime. And Toronto's definitely increased the lead. And Matthew Nines hat trick. He's been on a tear against the Lightning all season and all recent matchups. And I got to tell you, he is going to be a very valuable asset for the Maple Leafs. Offer sheet, if anyone tries to do a crazy offer sheet, I think it's worth the bet that Toronto will match it. Matthew Nines is someone that he could definitely replace Mitch Marner. And I believe Mitch Marner is gone from the Maple Leafs at the end of the season. The Maple Leafs have stacks of superstars on their team. And I think Matthew Nyes right now, to me, I think he's more affordable and accessible for the Maple Leafs. And I believe Mitch Marner, he's a free agent. He is going to get a big payday wherever he goes in the offseason. And as for Tampa Bay, though, not bad game. And, Alvar Bjorkstrand, he's fit in nicely. And I'll tell you, Nikita Kucherov, I mean, 82 assists this season. He is just one of the best players in the league. It's basically Nathan McKinnon, Draisaitl, Kucherov, Connor Hollaback, and Cal McCarr. Those are your top five players in the NHL. And I would throw Zach Greinke in there. And Toronto and Tampa, they've got superstars on their teams. And I'll tell you, this could be a potential second round matchup. This could be a second round matchup if the NHL were playing, in a alternative world. But I'll tell you, this will be exciting. This matchup will be highly anticipated when the stars align and when this matchup comes in the playoffs. All right, now going over to the Flyers and the New York Rangers, the final broadcast between with Sam Rosen and John Davidson, not the farewell send off, was for the New York Rangers losing 8-5. And Owen Tippett scored this nice empty netter bar down goal from his own blue line. Just a nice snipe. It was a nice clinger. He went bar down. He went bar down from his own blue line. Shot the puck on his own blue line, and bam. What a shot. And Tyson Forster, he is definitely blossoming into a good player. And 22 goals, first career hat trick. Impressive indeed. He's going to be finishing 26 goals by the end of the season. He is really good and a second straight 20-goal season. And as for the Rangers, though, congratulations to Artemi Panarin with his 300th career goal. And the Rangers, they got a lot to figure out in this offseason, though. But the Flyers, they got to do the same thing. They got a good nucleus of players, but the question is for both of these teams, how can they get back on the right track and make sure they go on future long playoff runs, deep playoff runs? All right, now we go over to a thrilling overtime matchup between the San Jose Sharks and the Minnesota Wild. 15 goals scored in total. And congratulations to Macklin Celebrini, first career hat trick. I mean, Macklin Celebrini is just a force to be reckoned with. 24 goals this season. I mean, 38 assists. he's got 62 points so far this season. And I would say, yeah, this is going to be a very close rookie of the year race. Very close rookie of the year race. And speaking of former rookie of the year, Kirill Kaprizov, huge boost for the Minnesota Wild, 25th goal of the season, winner in OT. And I mean, I'll tell you, having him back in the lineup really makes a difference for the Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Wild struggled without Kirill Kaprizov. And also having Joel Eriksson Ek back in the lineup, he also lit up the lamp last night as well, scoring 4 goals. And it was a huge boost in the lineup. Having those two key players on the Wild has definitely helped, the Minnesota Wild last night. And looking at that number, Joel Eriksson Ek, 4 goals last night. Very good indeed. And that was a boost that this Minnesota Wild team needed. Same thing with Kirill Kaprizov. And I got to tell you, Minnesota, when healthy, they are a dangerous team. And Brock Faber, 9th goal of the year. And I like Brock Faber, and honest to truly, I believe that he should have been the rookie of the year last year. Not Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard, great talent, but they're still in the basement. The Blackhawks are still a basement dwelling team in the NHL. And, Faber, he basically is out there 28 minutes a night, busting his butt off. I tell you, he is a future superstar defenseman in the NHL. And honestly, I really think he's better than Bedard. And we'll get to like that debate later, but close game, Blues 2 in a row, lost 2 in a row. Edmonton Oilers winning a crucial game, 4-3 regulation, and McDavid back in the lineup. And McDavid back in the lineup makes a huge difference. And he had 3 assists last night, 67 assists so far this season. And yeah, and in having him back in the lineup makes a huge difference. And for the Blues, though, losing 2 in a row, it's costly, but hey, they're in it. They're in it. I believe that they're still going to be a dangerous team, though. But as for this game last night, having McDavid back in the lineup really makes a major difference in your lineup. And then finally, we've got the Calgary Flames and Anaheim Ducks. OT winner for the Ducks, 4-3 winners. And Cutter Gauthier, 19th goal of the season. He is blossoming into what the Ducks have signed up for. And on the top of that, another consecutive, 2-goal game. He is playing loose and relaxed, and it's definitely helping his confidence. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a very good game for Anaheim. 4-3 dub for the Ducks. I know that it really helped. I think Calgary's done. Their playoff chances. They got a point. Very costly. Very costly indeed. Yeah. I gotta tell you, very costly indeed. And you know, and I gotta say, it was a very good game indeed. And Cutter Gauthier, he's going to end up with 20 something goals. And going back to saying it's going to be a tough rookie of the year race, yeah, it will be a very tough choice in battle. And looking at these numbers, and we had a debut for the Calgary Flames. Their lotto pick from last year in the lineup. Hmm. I don't think I see him in the lineup. Did not see him at all. And yeah, and we go to the standings, the latest standings, and let's talk about what we got right here. Toronto, 100 points. They are 3 up on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're 6 up on the Florida Panthers. And Washington, they're in 107, 96 for the Carolina Hurricanes, 89 for the New Jersey Devils. They clinched last night. They're in. And Ottawa clinched. They're in. And we've got Montreal with 87. So Montreal has got that lead over the Red Wings, Islanders, Blue Jackets, and the Rangers. And I gotta tell you, this is gonna be a tough journey. You know, the Red Wings' only way to make the playoffs is to win the rest of their games, but I don't see it happening. Montreal with 87, and then Red Wings, they got to get 8 points. I mean, 8 points to catch up. I don't see it happening. Montreal, they're going to be in it, and they will be playing the Washington Capitals in the first round. And that's the man. And I'll tell you, we already know for the last like month and a half, 2 months, it was going to be Carolina, New Jersey. Well, we'll have to see what happens right there. So we've got Winnipeg with 110, top of the Central, top of the Western Conference. Dallas Stars with 106. And Winnipeg's got 4 points more than the Stars. Colorado Avalanche with 100. They are 10 behind the Winnipeg Jets. So that's your 1, 2, 3 in the Central Division. And then we've got 103 Vegas Golden Knights in the Pacific Division. 97 LA Kings second place. 95 Edmonton Oilers third. And the Oilers are 2 behind LA with 97 for second place. And they are 8 behind Vegas with 103. Minnesota Wild winning this game last night and the Blues losing. So that means Minnesota has got 93. They got wild card 1 now, and the Blues have wild card 2. Now you got the Calgary Flames with 5 points behind. So they are the last team trying to figure out a playoff berth and spot with 4 games left. The Blues have 2 to go. And if I was St. Louis right now, I would win the last 2 games. It's very crucial for the St. Louis Blues to win these last 2 games and make sure that, and Calgary's got 4 games. I would be hesitant and nervous because, man, St. Louis has got 80 and everybody else has got, like 78, 77 games left to go. I mean, the Blues got 2 games left and they got the fewest games left on the schedule and they got to get this deal done. The Blues have got to get the last 2 wins. So Calgary, I don't know if Calgary would catch up. Let's see, they got 4 games left. You've got, if they win 4 games, so that'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, they'll end up with 96. And if the Blues win the last 2 games, they end up with 97. So it's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching for the Blues. And this is going to be a sentiment saying, boy, St. Louis making the playoffs, it would be a great Cinderella story. Calgary, I mean, it's crazy to see 78 games left. And the Blues only got 2. This is going to be, and also you got to see what Minnesota finishes as well. That is the other thing too. Scoreboard watching, standings watching. This is going to be very interesting to the end. Yeah. And now I want to talk about the Frozen Four. We've got University of Denver playing against Western Michigan. A rematch in the NCHC conference about a month ago. And Western Michigan won that tournament and they got the home ice advantage, neutral site, top ranked team in the tournament and playing against Denver. Denver's a dynasty and Western Michigan is looking for a first time winner for the national championship. I'm going to go with Denver. Denver, it's going to be close, but I'm going with Denver 3-2 or 4-3 overtime. It's going to be costly and controversial. It will be a very close game. I'm going Denver. And then the last matchup, it's an 8:30 matchup between Boston University and Penn State. I'm going to go Boston University. I got to say, Boston's got the depth. They've got the prospects. Penn State, they've got the heart and courage of a lion, but I got to go with Boston University on this one. It's obvious that they got more of a pedigree in history, and then Then the Frozen Four tournament national championship game Saturday, it will be Boston University versus Denver. And that matchup right there will be a highly anticipated game. Oh, yeah. And now, Marc Andre Fleury, he's had a very good career and especially, winning most winning goaltender in overtime victories in NHL history. Congratulations to Flower on having the most overtime wins in NHL history. It's a great accomplishment, and Flowers, one of the best goalies to ever play the game, second best all time in most of the categories. And Flower is the true MVP, and he's had a great, wonderful career. And speaking of Pittsburgh Penguins, Flowers a former Penguin, but he's with them so a while now. But Sidney Crosby, though, he was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday in PBG Paints Arena. Paul Skeens, the number one overall pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates and the star pitcher of the Pittsburgh Pirates, tried to throw. He threw three balls at the circle trying to win $1 million and failed at all three attempts. And Sidney Crosby got a football, whatever, stroke it first try, won the $1 million. And I'll tell you, never underestimate Sidney Crosby with his natural athletic ability. He is not just a great hockey player, he was a great baseball player, football player. He is an all-around athlete and one of the smartest to do it as well. Oh, yeah. That right there, Sidney Crosby, is the reason why he's one of the best players in the game. And now I want to go over the latest news and rumors now. So I believe that we got somewhat of a standoff between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Isaac Howard. Isaac Howard is a first round pick by the Lightning, and he is returning for his junior year at Michigan State University. And he's got a 1.41 points per game average. And he's a Hobey Baker Award finalist. And he could become an unrestricted free agent next summer. And, the Tampa Bay Lightning are very thick depth team, and they've got a lot of players already. And I don't know if Isaac's got a opportunity to play with the Lightning, be a full timer. It would be sucky to see a talented player like him being buried in the minors while the Lightning have a strong depth. And the Lightning will continue to negotiate with Howard until if he becomes a UFA on August 15th, 2026. And then they could also trade his rights if they don't expect to sign him. He is one of the best players. And don't forget, the Hobey Baker Award is tomorrow night. And it will be intriguing to see where everything lies out. And then looking at this, and inside the NCAA circles saying that, Bolts and Howard Camp weren't symmetrical on where everything stood. But as I said before, if I were a team that's on the up and coming, keep your eyes on this kid because Isaac Howard is a talented young kid. He's still young, and also he's getting paid to play in college hockey with his NIL deal, $100,000. And I would rather play at MSU than go play in freaking Syracuse in the American League. I mean, come on, people. That's just me saying. And then we've got Dmitry Orlov. There is a potential chance that the 33-year-old defenseman who's a UFA July 1st could be heading back to Russia and to play in the KHL. But who knows? This will be something of, a lesser amount of a contract. His contract is currently a $7.75 million cap hit. But, we'll have to wait and see on that one. And looking at this, with the Pittsburgh Penguins, we mentioned they've got $25 million of cap space next season and then double the amount of that in 26-27. Boy, Pittsburgh, if they get the number one pick next year, get Gavin McKenna, you will see a line of high-profile UFA players going to Pittsburgh and they want to play with Sid in his final years and play with the next generation of Gavin McKenna. I mean, you've got a lot of free cap space right there. You've got a lot of cap space. And now we've got another rumor mill right here. We mentioned to this, you guys, we're going to tell you, this is going to be, you know, like this final stretch, guys. This is the final stretch. And now I want to talk to you guys about the plus minuses for the NHL. The worst plus minuses on each team in the NHL. Oh yeah. Let's talk about that, all right? We've got 32 players in the NHL. And take a guess who's got the worst plus minus in the NHL. Breaking, it's Connor Bedard with a minus 40. I mean, minus 40 with the worst plus minus. I know the Blackhawks suck and all, but geez, a minus 40. One of the worst. And right behind is Tyler Bertuzzi with a minus 39, and along with Mason Lohrei from the Boston Bruins, Ramis Anderson from the Calgary Flames with a minus 34, Barclay Goodrow with a minus 33. Steven Stamkos at a minus 32. Kirby Dach minus 29. Luke Cunningham at a minus 28. Ty Delorenda with a minus 28. Jamie Drysdale minus 28. Philip Kursasev minus 27. Roman Yossi minus 26. Eric Carlson minus 26. Jonathan Marchessault minus 26. Casey Middlestat minus 26. Macklin Celebrini minus 26. I know he's on a crappy team and all, but I mean, look at Nashville. You've got Marchessault, Stamkos, and Yossi. That is sad. This team was supposed to be contending, not this like going down. That's sad. Then you got Noah Chari with a minus 25, Mario Ferraro minus 25, Evgeny Malkin minus 24, Ryan O'Reilly minus 24, Brock Besser minus 24, Michael Bunting minus 24, Seth Jones. I know Seth Jones was on the shittiest team in the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, he's got a minus 23, but that sucks. I mean, next season with the Florida Panthers, expect his plus minus to be a plus. Then you got Gustav Forsling with a minus 23. Teuvo Teravainen with a minus 23. And yeah, that is just pretty damn sad. And then Eric Gustafsson with the Red Wings with a minus 20, minus 19. Kasperi Kapanen with a minus 16. And Carter Verhaeghe, man, what the hell happened to him? But he's got a minus 18. Minus 18. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. And then looking at Nicholas Waugh, he's got a minus 6. Lapierre from the Washington Capitals with a minus 3. Hayden Fleury with a minus 10. And Kevin Fiala's got a minus 5. And that right there, so far, I believe that he has got somewhat the best. Like, I know plus minus, I know the minuses are bad, but Kevin Fiala's got the somewhat best, worst plus minus in the entire NHL. And then you got Travis Hamonic with a minus 17. Yikes. Mika Zibanejad, his stock has dropped minus 23. And then you've got Noah Dobson minus 15. Coder with minus 14. Brandon Montour minus 18. Luke Glendening with a minus 9. Riley with a minus 14 on the Maple Leafs. Clayton Keller with a minus 13. I don't want to go through this. Jack Roslovic with a minus 9. Ivan with a minus 9. Zach Austin Reese is a minus 16. Brandon Smith with a minus 9. Ah, man. No more negativity, man. No more negativity. Oh, goodness. All right. And we got some breaking news that the Carolina Hurricanes have signed one of the best players outside of the NHL. He's not playing in the NHL. He was playing in CKA, in Russia in the KHL. So the Carolina Hurricanes signed Alexander Nikishin to a 2-year entry-level deal. And I'll tell you, this kid is going to be a dynamite player, and he is going to be having, and I'll tell you, competition with the young kids coming up in the NHL. And I hopefully that Alexander Nikishin will adapt well. Like, I hope he can adapt. And I heard a lot of good things about him. He's a very talented player and by standards. And yeah, and let's get to tonight's game, shall we? So tonight, this Thursday night, it's going to be 10 games tonight. And we got some good matchups right here. An original six matchup between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Boston Bruins. Both teams have seen better days. Then you've got the Detroit Red Wings and the Florida Panthers. And that matchup is key, crucial for the Red Wings. They are hoping to stay alive in this playoff chase. Florida Panthers, they want to get their mojo momentum back. And they want to play catch up to the Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know the injury, blah, 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 but, we'll have to see right there. We got the Buffalo Sabres and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets trying to stay alive. The Sabres, they just want to have fun because they're out of it. They're out of the contest. Then you got the Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. This could be a potential second round matchup. Keep your eyes on that one right there. This right here will be a very unique, interesting matchup because don't forget, second round playoff matchup. Then you've got the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. And right here, like the Islanders and the Rangers, they're both, not in the playoff mix. And a year ago, they were both in the playoffs. Now it's like, okay, they both suck now, and they shake hands. They both agreed, and they wash their hands because, man, I touched my rival's hand for agreeing. Then the illusion comes. Whoop. Yeah, so I mean, the Battle of the Big Apple, Long Island, Manhattan. I mean, you know, whoever gets the 2 points basically stays in the race. The other one drops out of the playoff race and chase. Then you got the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars, a also potential second round matchup in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Right here, I mean, Dallas and Winnipeg, it's going to be a close matchup. I believe those two are going to be overtime, and it's a potential second round matchup, and it's crucial right there. Then you got the Vancouver Canucks and the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs, they want to play catch up, and they know that, the team I was talking about earlier just now was Winnipeg and Dallas. Colorado wants that first round home ice advantage, but Dallas has got that second spot. Yeah. I believe, Colorado, and I mean Vancouver, they're done. They're toast. Vancouver is definitely toast. And I'll mention why, what was going on. And then you've got Utah Hockey Club and the Nashville Predators tonight, and Utah's final home game of the season. And I got to tell you, Utah did it right. A very successful inaugural year for this young team. They're on the rise. Utah Hockey Club, be happy and humble that you guys have had a team that has got a lot of ups and a lot of promise. I congratulate you guys. And I believe that the future is going to be very bright for Utah Hockey Club. And I'm just happy they have a home that, they can call their own. It sucks Arizona doesn't have a team anymore, but Arizona will get the Yotes back eventually. Yeah. But then we got our last two games. We've got Seattle Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights, the last two expansion teams that come into the NHL. Don't underestimate the Seattle Kraken, though, but Vegas, though, I think Vegas has got a very good team and all, and I believe they're gonna be clinching that division. It's gonna be set, sealed, and done. And then our last game, it's the battle of the Southern California. You got LA County against OC. So basically, it's going to be a great rivalry matchup. It's going to be a close one. I wouldn't be surprised that, Anaheim's been picking up a little bit of mojo lately, but LA, though, I believe this will be a close matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be like a 3-2 game. I wouldn't be surprised. Whoever wins this one. Yeah. So, oh, yeah. And And this is the episode of 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, TikTok, etc. This has been 2 Minutes in the Box with Gordo, the daily grind of news, rumors, and updates. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll be back here tomorrow.